Hello, welcome to Rise Real Estate. Making an offer. Your best chance of making money in real estate is paying the right price when you purchase. The way we figure our offer is based on the value of the home if it was in great condition the way that it sits. What that means is if the kitchen, bathrooms, flooring, roof, siding, and windows were all in clean, recently renovated condition, what would the house be worth? Then, depending on the condition of these items, decide whether they need repair or replacement. Determine the difference between the assumed value and the required repairs, subtract an additional 20%, and then don't forget to subtract any listing or realtor fees. And this should be the price that you would offer. Now, before you offer, you should consider, are there things that you can do to the home that would make it more valuable than if it was just in better condition?
This episode's all about 10th Street. It's our most recent project, and it's going to be still fresh in our minds, so we feel like this might be 2 episodes. We got a call from a family that was needing some help with a house that they had. They needed a plan on what to do. Their family member mom was in assisted living, and this house was sitting empty. And she had lived there for almost 30 years, and the house was pretty well taken care of, but the family didn't have money to support her need in the assisted living. So we got the call to go over and kind of help them figure out if we were going to list it, if we were going to buy it, where do we go from there if we thought that it was, if it was worth us taking a chance on it.
Yeah, so the first time we went and looked at the house, there was quite a bit of stuff, couches and things like that, beds still in the house. They were kind of in a rush to get mom into the assisted living situation. And so what we were able to assess from looking at the exteriors, it looked good, roof was good, siding was good, windows were good. The interior just was old. It had some wallpaper and the flooring was pretty rough, and the kitchen needed to be replaced. The bathroom upstairs needed to be freshened up for sure.
Yeah, and there was at one point a flood in the basement that the restoration company had come in and cleaned up. I can't remember if it was a hot water tank that flooded or what initially caused the water, but they had cut some of the carpet back, some of the drywall up 2 feet, but they didn't put anything back. So it looked like there had been a flood down there.
Yeah. So the basement definitely was kind of the biggest reason that a homeowner would look at it and be like, yeah, my house just isn't really worth what the rest of the neighborhood's worth. Obviously, needs to be some work down here. But in reality, like the kitchen and the bathroom upstairs were added to that just as much as just the fact that there was missing wallboard and stuff downstairs, and the carpet had been torn out. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we don't know exactly, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of the we've got to get rid of this is just due to the fact that it would have been overwhelming for somebody who wasn't familiar with doing remodeling.
Well, and I think the stress of the family they were using their savings to put their mom into assisted living. They were kind of in almost a panic mode, paying the utilities and her house payment and her assisted living bill, and didn't know how long they were able to keep that up. And so we came in and we ran some really quickly numbers of what we thought that we could do to it. We made an offer. And this offer was a little bit different from what we normally do. We did offer to, we had just purchased Montana when this offer came to us. And so we knew that we had to get Montana done. We couldn't do both of them. So we offered to pay for her mom 2 months in the assisted living. And that was our earnest money, was 2 months of the assisted living, $15,000. So it was a little bit unorthodox for us to pay that way of the earnest money, but it ultimately helped them feel a little less strapped.
We thought that we would be done with Montana in 2 months and be right on to 10th Street. And unfortunately, that didn't work out like we planned.
So we finished Montana and we got a contract and everything, and we closed on it, and we were ready that same week to close on 10th Street, and 12 hours before closing, the mom passed away. So
yeah,
she didn't make it all the way to closing.
Rough deal. There was already a bit of a situation with the property where there was a deed upon death, which is a very wise tax strategy when it's done properly.
Yeah, they did everything right. They had the power of attorney in place when she was alive to help with the negotiations of everything that she needed. They had a deed on death. The problem was that once you do those documents, you have to make sure if they're updated. So her deed on death actually had passed away a couple years prior to her death. And so when she died, it went to someone who was no longer living. They didn't have any estate. So it kind of came a little bit of a hurdle for them. We stayed with the family the whole time, helped them, what's your next step? We found them a lawyer that could help them with the probate process. He was very kind and, was able to really expedite it as smoothly as it could. It did have to go to probate, so it ended up taking longer than they would have liked. But the strange things was, because we were planning on closing, utilities switched over to us.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up paying the utilities for that full time, which was fine. But
like 2 or 3 months.
2 or 3 months. We and they were they were so great. They felt like, I think any other buyer might not have been able to wait that long. We didn't have a timeline, so we were like, whenever you tell us go, we're ready to close. So
yeah, so I want to say mid-August is when we were ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And we didn't wind up taking ownership of the property until late
December 28th.
Yeah. So the downside for us was, and something that we weren't prepared for, and we have to consider moving forward if we ever do something like that again, is, the money that we put down sat there basically in purgatory, not earning us any interest, not doing any good for us. And if that was hard money, it would have cost us a lot of money to have that, and we probably would have had to have backed out.
Yeah.
But because we do everything with caution, and we try to keep as much cash on hand as we can personally without going out and just spending every dime, we were able to afford to do that, and not ideal.
It's not ideal. We were a little stressed.
Yeah, but it worked out. It was okay, and so after we closed, we kind of got to work pretty quick with tearing everything out. And the kitchen, I think, was kind of the biggest, hottest thing over there that needed to, other than the basement that was flooded, clearly needed to be. Do you think any differently?
I think it was really hard for us to see. There was carpet, and we thought we were going to save those hardwood floors under the carpet. We pulled up a little and we thought, oh yes, hardwood floors. So we pulled out the carpet, and it looked great.
They looked fantastic. We thought we had nice.
Yeah, we thought we were golden. Yeah, we thought we were golden. But there was some oddities in the flooring, big places where maybe the floor plan had changed at one time. This house is a 1945 house sitting on a 1970 something basement. So they had brought this house from somewhere else. And along the way, at some point, changed the floor plan. We could see where old doors were and different things. So when we brought our hardwood floor guy in, and he said he could do it, but it would be a lot of work. And we had already wasted, we felt like, a lot of time
getting into it.
And we just really didn't know that we wanted to take the time for the hardwood. And so we decided to find a really nice flooring. And I really struggled because the wood there was good, the trim, and I didn't want to change the trim. And so I brought every single piece of flooring home I could that to try to match with the trim or blend with the trim. I think we did a really great job on that in the end. But
yeah, so I am not a fan of the linoleum click together flooring.
Yeah.
Particularly like the old stuff. But the newer stuff, they're making it look more like individual actual planks. It doesn't look so printed on. Was this stuff? I don't recall. We did in Montana. We did the engineered. Did we?
It
do
was the
engineered
same engineered. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that's better because I think it's actual like wood veneer on top of it, and so it actually looks like a wood grain, even though every piece is 4 foot long and it's 6 inches wide or whatever. But at least it doesn't look like three individual printed on planks onto one large 6-inch plank. I think it looks much better than that, the original stuff that they came out with. So
yeah, so we demoed the carpet. There was some glass mirrors on a wall downstairs. We had to think through that and figure out, I mean, they were floor to ceiling, and so we had to figure out how to get these glass mirrors off, and I don't think we broke one. That was good.
Nothing broke like you would think, like it shattered.
Yeah.
You know, like I think we might have broke the corner on one setting it down or something.
No, but I think we did a really great job on
I
that.
can't believe that I was able to get those off. I think the trick, I went to the old YouTubes and found, I think somebody used the window shims, and I think I took shims and just poked them in there with a hammer and kind of wedged them away from the wall, because the strength of that glue is kind of in the up and down and left and right, not in the away from the wall. The tensile strength versus the whatever the other one is. I can't think of it right
And then
now.
we got the giant suction cup things to carry the glass, and that it's all about your tools, right? I guess
that worked out. We went to Amazon and bought a couple of the cheap suction cups, and
those worked.
They worked out really well.
We filled the first dumpster probably within the first 45 minutes.
Demo seemed like it went very quick. We filled the first dumpster. With the second, we weren't expecting. I think we kind of got a smaller dumpster, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then we're like, you know what? We called them and asked them if they'd give us a deal on another dumpster, because the first one, because just bring one out, pick this one up, drop that one off. Mm-hmm. And they did give us like $85 off or something.
Yeah.
But we got the bigger dumpster so we could fill it up. And then somehow I still had to get rid of a freaking TV.
Right. Yeah.
Like what? Why? How do we?
Oh,
still
that's
have
because
things like
Ryan
that?
wanted to keep it.
Ah.
So we were able to help a younger person just starting out, because she, going to the nursing home, you can't take a lot of your stuff, and some of the stuff was really pretty good stuff. And so we had a younger person that was moving back in town from the military, needed some stuff. We were like, hey, do you need a bed? Do you need a end table, what do you need? I think they took the kitchen table, so I would much rather, give it to somebody in need and, that kind of stuff if we can. So a lot of the stuff we were able to help that way.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time trying to figure out the kitchen. The cabinets on one side were pretty good. The hole for the refrigerator was way too small.
It was very interesting. So this house had 2 sets of stairs. This is not common in a home, right? So the refrigerator actually sat in a hole off the floor about 4 inches, but that put it above the back set of stairs in the house. And we had some struggles with the refrigerator, but that was kind of the last thing we did.
3 refrigerators later, and those guys, one of the refrigerators, they came in, they broke the lights. The first refrigerator came dented. Mm-hmm. And so we took it back, which it didn't fit anyway. Don't tell them. No, it was dented. It didn't fit.
They unwrapped it and it was dented.
Yeah.
And so we just were like, and so they took it back, no problem.
No, we took it back. They don't take it back. It's one way.
Well,
we had to bring it back.
Right. I mean, the store took it back, no problem.
Yeah. And then the second one, they brought it in and kind of banged up the door, banged up the light. It fit in the hole, but the door wouldn't open. It was so tight.
So it was a perfect fit.
Yeah.
And the swing on the door,
I think that matters.
Varies.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So some doors swing, on a hinge outside of the frame, and some of them swing like inside. And if we would have had that, it would have been a perfect fit. And you spent a lot of time looking for a refrigerator.
Yeah. And counter depth.
And it was only, I think, a 30-inch hole, so we had to have a 28-inch deep fridge. So really, the kitchen was the most difficult thing, because what we wanted to do was go in and really rip it out, but you can't do that. We from experience, we've started on these houses that are gutted, and we could just do whatever we wanted to do. And
I think this is harder, trying to only do a little bit and not start from clean.
It is hard because we want it to be so amazing. We want everything that we do to be incredible.
Yeah.
And it's hard for us to look at something and think it's incredible when it's still the same old stuff that was there.
Yeah. So we spent a lot of time trying to find cabinets to match the other side. Couldn't find it. Talked about ripping them out. Couldn't do it, So what we did was we made them. We made 3 cabinets on the other side that matched. It was very blank on the other side. There was no real cabinets, no uppers. It was just kind of blank. It was a stove there before.
So when we walked in, there was kind of an L-shaped counter on the outside wall, and the kind of a peninsula situation. And for whatever reason, the oven sat on the opposite wall of the sink. And there was a cabinet there already, and the stove, and then this interesting wall hanging. Well, there was the half wall, but it was like a cabinet, but it was hanging there. Ultimately, we wound up leaving it.
Yeah.
It looked good, and it fit in. It matched, and it was recessed. It was the door that was there that led out to the back side of the house. It was a really difficult thing. Like, I wanted to get away from it so much. We were going to put the hood range in where those 2 lights were, but we really just couldn't figure out.
Well, we couldn't figure out how not to block the other stairway, and how to leave it open, and then what to put in that blank area if you do that. So it really, it was challenging. I mean, I liked how it turned out. I think it was really open and wide, and And we spent 3 weeks making cabinets, and I've gotten pretty good at stain. So I stained them to match. You know, it was tough because how do you stain new stuff to look like 30 or 45-year-old? I don't know. More than that yet.
Whatever the old stain looked like, plus the
dirt and grime that was on it. Like,
I was gonna say patina.
It was tough. It was tough. But it looked really good, and we added a microwave over the stove that wasn't there before, and
we changed out the handles on all the hardware, the pulls.
Yeah, I got some we found another slab that fit perfectly. I don't know how we did that, but it was a lot of slab, but it fit perfectly for that whole kitchen.
Well, there was a seam in it.
There was a seam only because it was too long. They couldn't get it in the...
They couldn't transport it that big.
Yeah.
Right.
But the slab itself...
Right.
was large enough to do our needs, the whole kitchen.
Right. But you've done a great job finding, this is this third one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Second. The first one we got was...
the second hard surface.
Yeah.
I guess we did in Laura, we did just a Formica.
And St. Clair.
Yeah.
So we ordered that from Menards. But we also added egress windows. We knew that we wanted to come in this house, and it originally was 2 bedrooms upstairs, but it had 2 large potential bedrooms downstairs, but you couldn't count them as bedrooms because of the small windows. So
I think I want to talk about that more towards the end, because the way that it affected the value of the property. It did not help as much as we thought it would.
Yeah, we thought that going from 2 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms would really increase our value, and ultimately it depends on the appraiser you get. I mean, really, it's who you get.
So I think that could almost be a full episode.
Yeah.
So that's about it for this one. We've still got a lot to talk about. The rest of the remodel and the contractors that we used, and so thanks for checking us out. And sorry to drag this one out to 2 episodes, but again, we're trying to keep this around 20 minutes per episode, and this one's still fresh in our mind. And a quick update, we've been doing some looking, talking to the banks and trying to figure out our next steps on some of our upcoming properties. And again, that's what we're hoping to be doing, regular updates, so you guys can hear kind of every detail as we move forward on our bigger projects that are coming up. Thanks for checking us out, and come back next week and listen to the next one.